is going on, my dudes? Tasha here, back again with another Genshin Impact video, and today we are going to be talking about the new character that came out for Genshin Impact 3.1, and this is after the stream, so bear in mind I am a little bit tired, but we are going to be talking about Dori. Now, as you can see here, we're in my game, and we're going to go straight over to Dori. Now, Dori is a fun character for sure, and the reason why I say that is because I think her healing might rival some other characters inside the game. So let's go ahead and talk about that. First things first, I have her at level 90. I was able to get her level 90 day one, so boom, I can finish up my Collei now. For weapons, I am choosing to use the bell because I am going straight healer Dori. Now, there's going to be some issues with my build, and I'm going to point those out myself. But let's go ahead and talk about this. I think that this is the first character that actually can utilize the bell properly. Is this the best build to go by? It might not be, but I've been enjoying this so far. Bell, obviously, taking damage generates a shield which absorbs damage up to 32% of max HP. This shield lasts for 10 seconds or until broken, and you can only be triggered once every 45 seconds. When protected by a shield, this character gains 24% increased damage. Now, this is an R5 bell. Bear in mind, so the ability is a little bit, skewed to that R5, and it's not fully leveled up just yet because I'm still working on getting it to level 90. However, I still think that the bell right here is still Dori's best weapon. There's no denying that in my personal opinion. Now, artifacts. I went with a 4-piece Maiden Beloved set. Now, this is not to say that 4-piece Maiden Beloved is the go-to. You could go 4-piece Ocean Hued Clam, you could go 2-piece Ocean Hued, 2-piece Tenacity, you could do 2-piece Maiden Beloved and 2-piece Tenacity. Either way, I think that it's perfect, but you could also run her as a regular support with a 4-piece Noblesse, which is definitely not a bad idea for your Dori. However, I wanted to go straight healing because I wanted to see what her healing capabilities could be, and let me tell you right now, her healing is pretty stacked. I will tell you that. But let's go ahead and also dive into the actual artifacts themselves. So here's my flower. I did get crit damage on this, which wasn't the go-to, but it didn't entirely matter to me. Honestly, if I could, I would have had it go into energy recharge. But I digress. The crit damage is still perfectly fine. I would have loved to have HP on this as well, but I digress. I'll be fine. Feather, we went double HP, Elemental Mastery, Energy Recharge, and it went mostly into the HP stats, which is exactly what I wanted for this build. For the Sands, we went HP percentage. Now, this is where I wish I could have changed my Sands. I'm working still towards this, but I would have rather gone an Energy Recharge Sands, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but I still feel HP percentage, excuse me, still very, very good. Now, I didn't need crit rate or crit damage because, again, I'm not going for damage output for Dori. So I would have loved to do, let's say, Energy Recharge is the main stat, and then HP flat, Energy Recharge, Elemental Mastery, and it's kind of tough. I guess crit rate on that, but even then it's not really needed. So long as it would have had the HP and the Energy Recharge and Elemental Mastery, I would have been fine. Now, for this cup, I went HP percentage again because, again, I am not focused on doing damage with her. Although this gave me 30% crit damage, and I was like, Jesus, this cup is pretty stacked, but, ultimately I would have loved to have Energy Recharge instead. And then, of course, the circlet, instead of HP percentage, I went with healing bonus with an HP percentage right there. So there's that. Now, again, I would have much rather have gone with the energy recharge percent on that, but it is what it is. Now, if you look at the details, boom, my HP is loaded. I'm at a 41,000% or 41,000 HP. Now, if I were to take away this HP percentage cup, I would probably go down to about 33,034. So let's see. Let's go over here. Now, if I were to unequip this, let's see. My main stats would be about 35,000. So actually a lot higher than what I thought. So I could keep the 35,000 and then switch this to an energy recharge Sans and be perfectly fine. But I'm not going to do that for now because I'm going to capitalize on what I have. Now, for constellations, this is a C1 Dori, which C1 Dori is really good. The number of after sales service rounds created by Troubleshoot is increased by 1, so you get a little bit of extra damage on that, but it's not really needed. The C2, I think, is what I would have wanted when you are in combat with the Genie. Heals the character it is connected to. It'll fire a Genie taupe from what character's position, dealing 50% of Dori's attack damage. Now, again, this isn't entirely needed, but it's still good to get a little bit of damage off, and it'll also be Electro infused, so that's kudos. Now for Dori, my biggest thing is, since I'm worried about healing, I'm only worrying about getting her burst as high as possible. So I could level this up again, but I'm choosing not to for the time being until I know for sure it's what I want to do. Now, of course, like I said before, you want energy recharge, and as you can see with mine, the energy recharge on my Dori is pretty abysmal. I should be aiming for more towards 160%, which is exactly what I want, but ultimately, here is why I like Dori. And we're only going to showcase this because I don't think I need to go too far into it. So with Dori, she works really well on many teams, but the main thing for her is that she's a great healer. Once you cast your Jin right here, as you can see, we go and heal. And look at that, almost 9,000 damage, or 9,000 health per tick. I could literally heal up my whole team right here, like perfect. Almost completely, but you know, it is what it is. 9,000 per tick is incredibly good. Like, my Kokomi doesn't hit that. And Kokomi, like, overall is a better healer because of her E and her burst, but there's no denying that, honestly, Dori's E, crazy good. Crazy good in my personal opinion. And I think it's because of how high I have her health, you know, up there. Now, granted, if you were to do an HP percentage artifact as your circlet, instead of healing bonus, I think it would be a lot lower. But yeah, healing bonus, the way to go. Excuse me. But like I said, I would like to go energy recharge on that. Now, a couple of teams that you could run her on, right? Let's go ahead and talk about that. So this team I'm running her on is mainly just my main team. But the biggest team I want to point out is kind of this, but instead of Xinyan, you could switch for Fischl. Now, the reason why Xinyan's there is because I was streaming and I did my punishment stream, and now I'm stuck using Xinyan. But if you were to switch her to Fischl, you could run literally the aggravate team that I think is perfect. You switch into Fischl, you get her E out. You switch to freaking Dori, you get her burst ready to go, and you activate. From there, you switch to Collei with a full Dendro set, and then you switch to Tighnari to get that full thing going on, and my word, the damage is uncanny. You could also put her on a super conduct team, and honestly, you could put her on any team as a healer and be perfectly fine in my personal opinion. There's not much that you need to do for Dori. So, what would be my placing for Dori? I think that Dori is one of the better healers in the game right now. And maybe that's me, like, just going right off the bat on my first impressions, but healing 9k per tick is fantastic. Again, you want to get that energy recharge at least at 160, because if you don't, you're going to have a bad time. So overall, Dori is going to get a solid 8 out of 10 for me on the healer scale, because she does the job and she does it fantastically. You just got to make sure to get that ER. Now, of course, guys, if you agree or disagree with me, please let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear you guys' opinions. And obviously, I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on what videos to do next. I know it's been a little bit weird with the video schedule, but we're going to be fixing that this coming week. I do apologize for spacing out these videos a little bit differently. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the background. But again, guys, check out the links down below. Would love to see you guys in my streams, Twitter, all that good stuff. We do punishment streams where every 5 subs, we have to do a punishment on the punishment wheel, and unfortunately, one of the last ones was I had to C6 Bennett, which will be a short later on down the road. But anyways, guys, love you all to death, and as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Take care and be safe, lovelies.